My name is Sebastian Klemm from Klemm's Gallery, and we're here in the presentation of Jonas Roßmeißl, a young German sculptor who's oftentimes using as well the environment to present his works. So as you said correctly, the walls and the whole setup of the presentation is already quite specific. So Jonas chose to present his works in a surrounding that is already psychologically loaded a bit. You can see we don't have the classical wall covering, so he chose to take all the wallpapers off, so to show the structure and the raw material basically of the environment, and as well put in like a kind of specific carpet which resembles like an office floor but in a white tint, which would get dirty over the course of the fair, to put something around his work where the sculptures that he did for the presentation could be taken in a bit more precisely and in a more concentrated matter, because Jonas's work is very complex. So he does a lot of research about the ongoings in societal situations as we found ourselves in at the moment. So there's a lot of friction, there's a lot of potential to go in a right, interesting way or into a more drastic developments in society. But Jonas takes that as a stage to present his works and in an open setting. So there's no clear direction where you should think about them. And it's a classical sculptural approach in a sense. So as you mentioned, there are some kinetic aspects which are but more the techniques that he uses. So there's this motor-driven piece, there's a shredder piece in that entity over there, and the work is called Shredder L, and it has a screen with a very old piece of technique in there. So it's like a dark hole which takes all information, being it images, text, like it's something that works quite aurically, as most of his presentation here, I think. So it's like the work has an appealing and an appalling effect. So they are, I think, quite catchy and interesting to look at. So, and it makes sense to walk around them. Even the pieces on the wall have various perspectives on them. And at the same time, you have a psychological, I'd say, dimension to them. So you always have to make up your mind what you're actually looking at. And the closer you study them, the more you can see that they're fully worked through. So it's not an assemblage of interesting material. It's more like a real sculptural approach, so that Jonas chooses his materials quite deliberately and works on them very, very precisely. And so the feedback for the presentation here is so far outstanding. So we were able to place works with institutional contexts, and a lot of visitors are intrigued and interested in what he's doing here.
Ein alter Macintosh, tatsächlich. Alter Macintosh, ja. Tatsächlich ja von diesen Kerzen umgeben, wie Sie sehen, wurde wirklich jede von den Kerzen schon angezündet. Und die sind auch schon fast am Ende. Und von weitem sieht es so aus, als wären es diese Pilze.